Hi. Well, it's no secret that school buses are the safest way to get kids to school. But in Durham this week, it seems clear they're not always the timeliest. More on that shortly. I'm Wes Platt, editor and publisher of Southpoint Access. Welcome to the 12th episode of To the Point. Thank you for watching. So, traditional calendar schools went back to class this week, and the most positive highlight for Durham Public Schools has to be the opening of Murray Massenburg Elementary School right behind my house off Roxborough Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway. The most negative, though, is bus transportation. This week, the district has been plagued by late routes and children falling through the cracks of a system that tracks who gets picked up and dropped off where. I reached out to the school district with a few questions, including how many bus routes are running late or not at all, how many students have applied for transportation but haven't been added to the system for pickup or drop off, how many bus driver vacancies does DPS need to fill, does the forecast for next week look any better? Crystal Roberts, Director of Strategic Communications at DPS, told me she passed my questions along to transportation administrators, but she did say, in the meantime, please know that we continue to work through any issues that arise daily in order to provide safe, efficient transportation for our students. In order to cover routes, we are utilizing bus driver substitutes and addressing any driver vacancies we may have. To that end, we are always seeking additional bus drivers, and interested persons can apply through our employment portal. So keep that in mind. If you've got experience as a driver and you might want to get work driving kids to school, now's a great time to do it. What's been your experience with DPS school transportation this week? Let me know in the comments. So, Dr. Anthony Lewis, the district's new superintendent, shared his 100-day plan with the Board of Education last week. His primary goals are building a trusting relationship with the board, closing access and opportunity gaps at the lowest performing schools, improving organizational effectiveness and efficiency, studying critical issues to remove barriers for accelerating student performance, and engaging with stakeholders and generating excitement for the district's mission, vision, and strategic plan. Now, one way that the superintendent can engage with the community could be through a monthly column on the Southpoint Access site. I have offered DPS that very opportunity. I think it'd be great for neighbors in South Durham to hear regularly from the district's chief administrator. It's something that I've worked with the district on in the past when I was at the Herald Sun. We'll see if DPS takes me up on the offer. The DPS board also finally made its decision about Durham School of the Arts, whether or not to keep it downtown and renovate or move it 2.2 miles away to this Duke Homestead site. And there was a lot of political theater that led up to it, but really it was kind of a foregone conclusion. Durham voters passed bonds specifically to build a new DSA with new facilities, better facilities, newer facilities, and newer technologies. Even before the decision was finalized, the board was approving prep work on the site. And anyone who imagined that this was going to go any other way, I'm sorry, but you're looking at the world through nostalgia-colored lenses. Board members voiced their support for moving the campus during a virtual meeting that nobody could attend in person because of Tropical Storm Debbie. Then, when they finally put the decision to an actual vote, it was tucked safely inside the consent agenda where they wouldn't have to discuss it again in front of people at the in-person meeting. So with little fanfare and not much calamity, just a few public comments from the crowd, it was done with a whimper, not a bang. Next, let's talk about some development projects that are on the agenda for the Durham Planning Commission, which meets again on September 10th. What might you find interesting? Well, there's the 20-home Tri-Creek project off Leesville Road, or the 25 townhouses considered on Don Nichols Road for the Don Nichols Towns project. There's the planned expansion of Caring House along Pickett Road, which will make sure that Duke Cancer Center patients and their families have plenty of space available. And then there's a 126-unit Vivo Living project on NC Highway 55 that would replace an old Extended Stay America hotel. And this project is very similar to one just like it over by the Harris Teeter. That's at University Drive and MLK Junior Parkway. Now, in case you missed it, the Streets at Southpoint opened its new entertainment zone, which allows visitors who are 21 and older to walk around inside and outside the mall with alcoholic beverages from participating restaurants. Right now, that includes California Pizza Kitchen, Firebirds, Co Sushi, and Uncle Julio's. They might add more over time. What impact do you think this is going to have on the mall? Is it a good move? Will it encourage you to spend more time or less time there? Share your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about ChatGPT and other large language models? I don't want AI to do my writing for me, but it makes a pretty decent editorial assistant, and I can use all the help I can get. I'm doing this job for free, basically. And I don't have all the time in the world, but I definitely need assistance with research and analysis sometimes. So, here I am, ultra-local news site running on a shoestring budget, but I still want to give my readers some meat with the potatoes and everything else that goes along with it. If you've checked out Southpoint Access during the past week, you might have seen a couple of articles about development projects under review and a wrap-up of criminal incidents that happened in August. Now, a human, yours truly, gathered the information and put it all together in a document. Then I asked ChatGPT to analyze the data and share any trends and commonalities, interesting things that we might want to consider as readers. And I don't think the LLM did a bad job with the data that I provided. For next month's crime report, though, I'm going to broaden my filters to include different types of incidents. So I think maybe more about cyber crimes and more vehicle burglaries and that sort of thing, which we really didn't cover in this last report. You might also notice that Southpoint Access is sharing content from other excellent North Carolina news sources, including Carolina Public Press and North Carolina Health News. The story shared from Carolina Public Press and was the first one we shared was about the annoying bureaucracy involved in getting traffic calming features like speed humps added to neighborhoods in Durham. From North Carolina Health News, we got an examination of the struggle for those with terminal illnesses who are trying to find easily reachable options for dying with medical assistance. I'm really looking forward to more content from these outlets. It is free to use their content, and I think it's great that we're able to take advantage of that and spread that information around to readers right here in South Durham. I hope you find it beneficial. Let me know. Respond with comments, anything else if you've read these articles. What'd you think about them? I'm also now accepting letters to the editor from Southpoint Access readers. You'll find the link to submit yours under the Good Neighbors menu option. Please keep in mind, I'm going to ask for email addresses and phone numbers. And I do want to have your phone number so I can call and verify that you are the person submitting the letter to the editor. It's a tradition that I've had at past newspapers I've worked at. I think it's a good idea. You don't want somebody stealing your identity and saying that they are writing and it's not you. Always a good idea. Trust but verify. Last but not least, I want to thank our two current founding sponsors, Constantino and Burkert Law Group and Jill E. Burton and Associates, for supporting Southpoint Access as our first advertisers. And I want to encourage other businesses that serve customers in South Durham to become founding sponsors before October 1st. I really appreciate it. I think it's important that businesses support ultra-local journalism. And, anything I can do, if you've got questions about that, please reach out to me at southpointaccessnews@gmail.com. Take care, neighbors. I'll see you next time on To The Point.